Well, a part of the morning yesterday to the latter part of the afternoon seemed like it was drizzling. The clouds were just forming up and all of us got to know that, well, it will rain. Ultimately, by dusk, close of the evening and late into the night, we were in trouble. For those of us who were using a cross motorway, we were in deep trouble. Houses got flooded, but it also brought to bear the state of mind of not only leaders in Ghana, but also us as citizens. You know, back in the day, when I used to grossly live in Ashama and come to Accra, the planes on the side of the motorway always served as buffer. Now they've been occupied by all of us, big men, in quotes, who have purchased those lands to build great estates to live in and also build factories. Not only for themselves, but also to employ all of us. But, well, it's not bad using waterlogged areas or wetlands as residents. Of course, we know Singapore and even the Emirates, the Great Dubai, they reclaim land, sea into land and build great edifices. But then the engineering was always done right. I don't know why we have great engineers who have gone to school, have great degrees, some to the doctorate level, and we just don't do the engineering and we think that we can just cheat nature and be okay. Ironically or sarcastically, talks about how sensible we are and also how we tend to use common sense God gave us. And so we got stuck in traffic for long hours. And ultimately, after going through those drudgeries of the traffic hours, and getting to our homes, we also got to notice that our homes were also flooded. Aren't we some great people? Yeah. Aren't we some great people? Well, thank you for joining us for the show. It's not a time to be joyful, but it's also a time for us to do, again, the usual talk that we tend to do each time it rains. I'm thinking, if you know you live elsewhere, let's say in Ho, or Kettle, somewhere in the Volta region, please, you can give me a piece of land at an affordable rate. I would want to build a getaway home there. Or you live in Cape Coast, or let's say, you know, close by Briwa, you know, those areas. Please let me know if you have a piece of land that's affordable. I would want to build a getaway home. But in the meantime, after that prolonged rainfall, the meteorological agency is still telling us that there will be more rains. Okay? Only that this time when you live in those houses, you have no choice because it's your house. So we'll talk about it this morning, as always. We also decided, as we tend to use our common sense to do many of the things, look at how our rail system is working. Joseph Kofi Frimpong Akable decided to do this great piece. We can only dream as we watch on YouTube and when we travel to some of the best developed countries to go and experience the tubes and the rail that they have, how good they think about their rail system. But there's something being done about it. The Kufuor-led administration is doing some great work, but we decided to do some historical perspective in this piece.
Since the early 1980s, the railway subsector of the transport industry has suffered. A poorly run network, corruption, inadequate investment into the sector, among others, have gradually screeched the coaches on the track to a disturbing loud halt.
There are young persons resident in Ghana who are yet to take a ride on a train. This is because they were born at a time when not many trains could be seen weaving through communities on these rails. Governments have over the years pledged to revive Ghana's railway sector, but it is yet to return to its lost glory.
Coaches, I mean, they're talking about Keteke. But we have some of the great coaches. So on the African continent, perhaps we can have some great countries to look up to: Ethiopia, Kenya. Recently, our own neighbor Nigeria decided to, have those experiments with the Chinese coaches. And the Chinese, they build great coaches. They won a great contract in Boston. Massachusetts, and they put together the city rail, and it's working currently. So you just have to look up to. But some of the best examples would always be in the United Kingdom, and also in the United States, especially in New York. They tend to have some of the great rail lines there. So the latest documentary put together, Hotline documentary by Joseph Frimpong Akable, talks about it. So we'll look at that on the show. But today is World Stroke Day, and this year's theme is Stroke is Preventable. Indeed it is. So don't be the one. And our conversation today is going to focus on how to prevent and treat ailments, and the role of various professionals in the value chain of preventive stroke. Well, we do have a feature, and Komlado did us the honors of going into details, speaking to the medical professionals who usually get themselves acquainted with the relevant emergencies or the cases as related to stroke. So World Stroke Day is what we're talking about today. Look, it concerns all of us. And if you think you're tired from the rains, well, stroke is also just around the corner, but it is preventive. So right here on the show, we decided to, prick our minds this morning on all the relevant things we could prevent that we're not doing. Right here on the show this morning. Okay, so please make sure that for the next 3 hours you're getting interactive. Facebook, JoyNews on TV. We have it on Facebook. JoyNews on TV is a Twitter handle. My Joy Online TV is a channel on YouTube. Many of you go there, you watch, but you don't subscribe. This is what we want you to do. Click on the subscription button, and then also make sure that you click on the button that would always give you more feedback when we tend to do uploads or we're going live, so that you get more notifications as it is. But please, we are going to start the day with a great motivation. Whether it's damp, you slept in the rain, if your house got flooded, don't worry, we are going to motivate you. Kojo Yankson is ready with the message from the morning man. Stay with us.